Stephanie, would you please call the roll?
Hoffman.
Here.
Bowman.
Here.
Parsons.
Here.
Ferris.
Here.
Wallow. Here. Rudenberg.
Here.
Clark.
Here.
All right, we have a quorum. So we're going to do our consent agenda a little differently, a little more streamlined, so I'm going to have to do a whole bunch of talking real quick. Discussion and action on the consent agenda. All the following items with concern reports and items of a routine nature normally approved at city council meetings will be approved by one vote of the council. Any member of the council desiring to discuss an item on the consent agenda may request that it be removed from the consent agenda and placed for discussion as the next item on the regular agenda. It will then be considered separately. The consent agenda consists of the consideration and action on the following items. A, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting, May 18th, 2026. B, approval of the minutes of the special meeting, June 3rd, 2026. C, approval of claims in the amount of $296,073.93 and payroll expenses of $238,431.12. D, approval of ASAP Energy invoice 5608302 in the amount of $31,252.54. E, approval of the renewal agreement between the City of Alva and Northwest Technology Center in Alva to provide school resource officers for the 2026-2027 school year. F, approval of the renewal agreement between the City of Alva and Alva Public Schools to provide school resource officers for the 2026-2027 school year. G, approval of the renewed memorandum of understanding between the City of Alva Tourism Committee and the Alva Chamber of Commerce with an annual cost of $45,000 to be billed quarterly at a cost of $11,250. H, approval to authorize the city business manager and the mayor to sign the engagement letter with Crawford & Associates PC for preparation of annual financial statements and general accounting and advisory assistance through June 30, 2027. Is there any discussion? Do I have a motion to approve?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Second.
So I have a motion by Mr. Bowman and a second by Mr. Hoffman. Please call the vote.
Bowman.
Yes.
Hoffman.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Parsons.
Yes.
Ferris.
Yes.
Wallow. Yes. Rudenberg.
Yes.
All right. So, in order, since we have such a long deal, I'm going to forego individual reports from staff. If anybody has anything exciting they need to share on the different boards they are on, please share it. Otherwise, we'll move right on through the agenda. Nothing special? All right.
Do you want to do that one?
That's where we're at next.
Do you want me to do my report?
Give your report and then we'll do
Okay.
Super Dave.
So I did get the report emailed out this morning. I want to kind of hit a couple highlights. A couple things that aren't in the report. We got a thank you card from the Nescatonga Arts Festival folks, and it just says, it's from Brenda Sheik. Thank you so much for sponsoring the recent Nescatonga Arts Festival. As a participating artist, I truly appreciate your generous backing. Your commitment to the arts makes it possible for creators like me to share our work with the community. Thank you again for your help, for helping make the event such a wonderful success. Brenda Sheik is the daughter of former city manager, long time ago, Dean Calhoun.
Oh, wow.
So, and I got an email today that she's wanting to sponsor a day of admissions to the pool in memory of her dad. So that was kind of a cool thing as well. So now this is kind of, you don't get this every day. And we forgot I can't remember what they called it, but there's another item that I forgot to bring over from the office. I'm going to pass these around. There is a school on a reservation up in South Dakota, and they are there for troubled youth. And so they try to have, meaningful things for them to do, help them learn to do trades and whatnot. But several months ago, they stopped by City Hall and asked the manager if we had any out-of-service water meters, scrap, wire, stuff like that, that we wouldn't mind donating to them so that they could use them for their projects. That belt buckle was made out of a water meter from the city of Alva. And that's a pretty, I was blown away. And then the bracelet was some old copper wiring that they took and melted it all down and made all that stuff. And they also brought us, it looks like a big dream catcher, but it's not a dream catcher. It's a prosperity and peace and prosperity
And growth.
thing.
Yeah.
And so that's over in my office. But I thought that was pretty cool. I thought I'd show all of you guys what we were able to do with our trash. Anyway, they came back to Oklahoma and had that with them, and it's pretty neat. Couple things from my report. They are wrapping up the wellfield project. When I wrote the report, we were waiting on OG&E for power, and we still are waiting on OG&E for power, but I saw the paperwork come through today that they're getting ready to set the poles to where there's going to be power out there at the wellfield. The FAP waterline project is still in a substantially complete state, but we have yet to get the punch list items walked through with MOC. So we're still with multiple items outstanding, needing to make that walkthrough. And then we are having, the engineers are working with MOC on the ODOT water and sewer line projects. They've requested change orders outside of the deadlines and in excess of the allowable amounts. And so Myers is addressing that with them and kind of coordinating with ODOT and will coordinate with us too, because that funding for those projects are paid for by ODOT, but they run through the city. So that all I think is going to get resolved, but right now it's kind of at it's not at an impasse yet, but it's still definitely something that needs to be worked out. I wanted to bring up, because with the assistant chief and the police chief, we've had, and then some council members and members of the community, we've been fielding a lot of questions regarding the flock camera system. What our plan is, just so you guys are all aware, we are hopefully this week going to get something out to the public, and hopefully when people see the report from the meeting. But we're going to get something out to the public and say, hey, what are your questions? What are your concerns? Compile all those and then get some information ready and bring some experts in from Flock to come in, and we'll have a special kind of public meeting to where we go over those questions and answer those questions and kind of get all of the whatever concerns or questions people have, get them all compiled neatly so that we can make a concise message and hopefully get everybody on the same page with what flock cameras are and with what they aren't and what they do for our community. So that is coming. If you have anybody ask any questions on that, that's kind of coming. And if you have any questions, like I said, we're going to put out an electronic means for people to turn their questions in. Go ahead and do that, or email them to me, or text them to me. I know Gail's already texted me some questions, and so we've got a list that's started, and we'll get those compiled, get them organized, and go from there. I wanted to make sure you were aware, and I sent an email today, but there is an upcoming OML Regional Council meeting in Enid. That's going to be June 30th, and if anybody wants to go, at no cost. I've got room for a few people if you want to ride with me, but let me know, because they do ask that we register. Like I said, it's free, but we need to register so they know how much food to have. I also, this will be my first, I got signed up, I'm a member of the City Managers Association of Oklahoma now, the first year's free, so woo, that was good timing. But their summer conference is also in Enid, July 15th through the 17th, so I'm making plans to attend that. Moving down into the airport, we are getting the red truck listed on govdeals.com. I might have stole your thunder. I don't know if you're in. Oh, we're shipping reports. So the red truck is being listed on govdeals.com, and so we're going to get some information out so people know how to go find that red truck if they want to put a bid in on it. In the cemetery, they had their meeting this week, and the board members were really pleased with how the cemetery looked for Memorial Day. And they do have resurfacing scheduled to begin in July with that grant we got from the Blessington Trust. So we're getting that work scheduled. EMS, Bridget's had some staffing turnover, but also some hires. She did have, not in the report because it happened in June, but in May she got another PRN paramedic hired. But she did lose a paramedic, and then we lost another paramedic in June. So we're still continuing to recruit for those positions, and she also got another EMT hired and has gone through processing. Our public safety departments did participate in active shooter training and have been participating throughout June. EMS had their Bureau of Narcotics inspection. That went well, no deficiencies in that inspection, and they had about 92 calls in the month of May, which is a higher number than normal. In the finance and utility billing, Invoice Cloud is our where we're moving to for being able to do paperless billing. We're still on track with implementation on that for September, hopefully. Crawfords have started working on our FY26 audit, even though we haven't quite finished it yet. The trash truck, the 1998 Western Star trash truck, is out for bids right now until July 19th. So we'll open bids that's Friday.
Friday at 1.
Friday at 1. Have we got any in yet?
1.
Okay. That's all we need.
Yep.
We'll take more, but one's enough. In the fire department, this is pretty neat, and it doesn't happen very often, but we do have a firefighting family with a history in Alva, and Hunter Miller has become the 5th generation of the Miller family to be a firefighter, but also be a firefighter in the same department. We've only found incidents of one other situation in the state where there have been 5 generations of firefighters in their family, and we can't tell. We're still checking, but I think he's the Miller family is the only one that's been 5 generations in the same city. So that's kind of neat, and of course Chief Miller's pretty excited about that. So we did hire a firefighter, Jack Beaver, to fill the spot for Sage Lemunion, who resigned and went to another department. We also had another resignation from another firefighter, so we'll start the hiring process to fill that vacancy. And you can see in the report some of the numbers for the code enforcement, the permits, inspections, complaints, and resolutions. But I want to point out that we're in the process of getting something prepared for council discussion for code enforcement ordinance review, and mostly in the realm of abating nuisances. So abating the tall weeds and grasses, abating the dilapidated properties, and those things. We've got some things in our ordinances that are not making it easy for us and not making it citizen friendly either. So those things are going to be hopefully coming in front of you in another. We had that discussion only meeting back in April. We'll look to do another one of those probably in July to go over some of these things. you can see in there all our new hires in May. Most of those were lifeguards for the pool. And I will just say that Tina Hunt is our new human resources clerk, and she's doing a great job. She's picking up pieces and learning new things, and you can see in her report how busy she's been. Law enforcement, we do have some turnover there too. JT Jones has left to go to Bill Johnson, I think to Bill Johnson's, and Jace Klein will be taking over as our canine handler. And so we moved the pen and the doghouse and all that stuff to Jace's residence so he can perform those duties. Will Rogers has completed his Internet Crimes Against Children training, and he'll be getting some more education at an upcoming annual conference this summer. Those are training expenses that are covered, that we don't have to cover. They're going to be covered by the state, so that we're able to provide that service with the retirement, pending retirement of Steve Tanio. And also the police department got a computer donated to them by Walmart, so that was good. Streets, they finished up Barn Street where it had washed out at the north end of Bud Rose Park. So they got that finished up, blacktopped and everything. They took a few delays with rain, but I'm glad that's done. And I know that 5th Street and the square have been covered with dirt from the ODOT project. The guys are working, they're trying to keep that cleaned up, and they're trying to wash the streets down, but they're also trying to get it swept up. It's a really fine material, our street sweepers having trouble with it, but it's not for lack of effort. In fact, it could be worse if we weren't able to do anything, so that's going all right. Water and wastewater are doing a lot of work on cleaning up their yard. And then we did get I say resignation. Gary Perks is going to move down from water superintendent. He's going to go to part-time, and we'll be working with his license for a period of time until we can get Jay Davis licensed, and Jay will serve as our interim water superintendent. Our plan is to try to recruit or advertise for both water superintendent and assistant superintendent and see what we get. If we get somebody that'll be a rock star water superintendent with experience and all that, we'll hire a water superintendent, and Jay will continue to be the assistant water superintendent. If we get applications for people that are more qualified at an assistant level, Jay's prepared to step up. If the interim position works out, Jay's prepared to step up into that water superintendent position. And that is, that's the nickel version of those 9 pages you got. So, any questions? That's all I got.
All right. So we're going to skip on down to 13. Discussion and action to approve Resolution 2026-009, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Alva, Oklahoma, authorizing the execution of a Memorandum of Agreement 287G with the United States Department of Homeland Security, Immigration, and Customs Enforcement, approving the agreement as Exhibit A and providing for related matters. Is there any discussion?
If I can kind of just jump in and give a little bit of, and I'll have Assistant Chief Cummings also provide some information and be available to answer questions. But Assistant Chief Cummings brought this to me, a couple months ago, and we've been looking at it. They've been looking at it for a while, and then we've been looking at it together for a while as well, and talking with other, I know we talked to, I think you talked to the chief at Weatherford, and I talked to the mayor at Weatherford about, the agreement. But what the agreement does is it basically authorizes, and the way we've got our resolution is set up where we're accepting the authority to be able to enforce immigration law. We're not signing up to be a immigration law enforcement agency. Our focus is primarily still on local law enforcement, but when we do, 2 or 3 times a year have an immigration issue that's part of a other, local law enforcement issue, then we would have the authority to address that. It is something that we didn't come at this recommendation lightly, but it is something that we're recommending that the City Council pursue. And what I would ask is if we're not sure about approving this today, that we have the discussion, but make a table action until we can have a better opportunity to maybe answer all questions and things like that. The things that stand out to me in this item, one is that we're under no long-term commitment with Department of Homeland Security or Immigrations and Customs. If at any point this doesn't look like it's something that is working out for us, we just send them a letter to terminate the agreement and we get out. I did speak with the Mayor of Weatherford today. Some of the items that some of you had expressed to me, he said that, when in the beginning it was, there was a transition period of getting used to it, but, after a couple months, everything settled down and it's been what they thought it was going to be. It was, they didn't have they didn't have any increase in immigrations activity or anything like that, but it did give their department additional resources by, having participated. And that was in the form of reimbursements and the ability to conduct, more efficient law enforcement practices. Dave will have to get into more details on that, but basically the gist of it is, if we sign the MOU, then we become eligible. If there are any funds available, we're eligible to receive them, whether that be through reimbursements or whether it be through grants. If we don't sign the MOA, we aren't eligible for any of that funding, and we're not authorized to do any immigrations enforcement. If we do sign it, there's no guarantee that we'll receive any funding, and it's largely federal administration driven. If we've got a federal administration that is pro-enforcement of immigration policies, then they're likely to have funding that's sent out, because basically they're viewing this as they can't put immigrations and customs officers in every community across the United States, but they can work with local agencies, and they work with, there's probably, 20 or 30 agencies in the state of Oklahoma that are working under the same MOU with them. And for those agencies that are working with them, they have funding available to help with that. So, like I said, I think there's probably some discussion and questions to be had. That's kind of my standpoint on it. It's an opportunity for us to put more resources in our law enforcement department. And I think, and Dave's here. I don't know, Dave, do you want to say anything to start things off, or wait and field questions, or?
I can. Sure. Well, thank you guys for hearing me out. So I spoke with Weatherford today, and this has been they started it in January. So far, it's been great. We're in a way set up a lot like they are. Any contact we have with the public, it's all documented already. All of our traffic stops, or whether it be through citations or warnings or the actual reports that we write. So as far as, I know there's a lot of concerns with, discrimination and everything else. These are things we already face everywhere in the country. So we will have a way to check that if someone is being targeted. I don't anticipate that being the case. We rarely encounter issues with anyone, but it does happen. And I can't give you an exact number, but I know that it may be 2 or 3 times a year that we come across someone, whether it be passing through or whatever, that, they're involved in something else, a state crime, that upon further investigation, we obviously determine that they're not probably here illegally. Therefore, ICE does move to place a detainer and remove from the country if they meet that criteria. Now, this isn't a proactive arm. This isn't something we're going door to door with to check papers on anyone. It's not a program like that. This is strictly reactive. I can't stress enough how all the guys in our office know that that's what we expect from each of them. It's purely through your interaction of everyday calls that you encounter. I know Weatherford, there was a lot of outcry in Weatherford regarding people suspecting officers are going to be outside of businesses trying to target. Obviously, that's not the case. And since they have implemented this, it's been a successful program for them. They, of course, will encounter far more than we do. They have Interstate 40 that runs right through it. So, granted, they've kind of streamlined it from what DHS has already explained to us. They've got the process down, and they were a good source to gather information. But it's basically the job we already do. It's just this way opens up additional funding opportunities that it's hard to pass up on. So with that, if anybody has any questions, I would happily answer whatever you have. Yes, sir.
How does this make it any different? I mean, I've always grown up, there's consequences to our actions. And we're referring to people that there are consequences to not following the federal rules, correct?
Correct.
How's it different if we sign this versus if we didn't and you found somebody in that situation? Because I would think, I've always known that around here there's employers that hire some folks that may not be legal, but they're a sponsor of these folks, and surely, and I don't know how to do it, they're trying to make it right with them. You know what I mean? If a dude has got a DUI, he's going to go to jail. If I get a DUI, I'm going to go to jail. If he came across illegally, I guess I don't see how it's going to be any different, other than the fact that they're the ones that did something wrong in the first place by not filling out the papers to come here.
Would you like me to respond to any? I can kind of clear up some things. So, as is right now, when we have in the past have encountered those that are here illegally committing crimes in Oklahoma or Alva, we'll take them to jail if we have the reason to do so. And once at the jail, whether it be through fingerprinting that goes through, sends off to OSPI, which also the FBI will be checking. Those things, it'll flag it, and a lot of times ICE will, fax over a detainer on that subject. And not always, depending on the crime itself, but from there, ICE will, or the district attorney's office will be advised of the detainer. They can't leave until their state charges are cleared. And a lot of times charges either decline to file, whether it be a DUI or they just dismiss the charges itself and allow ICE to follow through with what they're set out to do. That is, I guess I don't know if it's the right way or not, but that's just the way it's.
So nothing's really going to change if we sign this, because you're still going to do your job
Certainly.
the same way.
We will. It's just this way bypasses that process there. So depending on what it is, if it's a no valid driver's license, which is a common thing, that's not just exclusively to people here illegally. That's all over the place. So, but in that situation, we can conduct our investigation. We'll have the training to do so right on the side of the road, and we can bypass the jail process immediately and move to take them to a federal holding facility if that's what ICE determines needs to be done. But ultimately, there's not one person within our department that will make the decision to take them to a federal holding facility. That is determined by ICE itself.
Either way, whether we sign.
Correct.
Do we get reimbursed for the travel expense on that? Or would we get reimbursed for the travel and time expense of taking the
We
person
would.
straight to a federal facility?
We would receive for time. In fact, I've got a breakdown of how they, as far as the average wear and tear, or yes, I don't know the full details of that, but we do, their breakdown on compensation through the time that it takes. So basically, if an Alva police officer works 2 hours of their 8-hour shift, the 2 hours are fully reimbursable. Overtime hours are reimbursed up to 25% of the officer's salary. Specifically, if an officer works 4 hours overtime, 1 hour, it will be reimbursable to DHS.
Where's the closest facility that we would potentially take those individuals?
Kane County has one, and I believe Logan County are the two facilities. And they make the determination on which federal facility to go to. So Newkirk and, I don't know what the county seat of Logan County is, but those are the two options. But, like I can't stress enough, our people aren't going to be going out making that determination. I can't stress that enough. We obviously are not experts in immigration law. We're not going to try to be. We will receive training on this, but the ultimate decision on whether or not they meet that criteria will come down through DHS and not us.
Same thing would apply. Okay, I'm going 69 miles an hour. I somehow have a valid license.
That's California.
Yeah, it could be California. And you pull somebody over for doing that, say it's all good. But they're illegal. Would it still go through the system and they'd say, detain this guy?
It could, absolutely. Because based on training that we are to receive to participate in this, we would be able to take that a step further on the side of the road to ask the certain questions, but also communicate with DHS.
Because without them, you wouldn't really know their status.
Correct. We don't have access to their system now. The wording in that MOA suggests that we would have some sort of computer access to some of their databases to determine that, but primarily we would have 24/7 access to an on-duty officer with ICE that would direct us from there. So it's based. We already can, in our interactions every day, it's easy to determine that throughout your own just a basic investigation on the side of the road. You can determine whether or not someone is likely to be or not. It's not saying it's 100%. It's just saying that you recognize, you deal with this. I mean, you encounter it, so you kind of are aware. But that ultimately is up to them, and that's someone that we would have access to on a regular basis.
So, Mr. Bowman's example, right now somebody gets pulled over going 70 miles an hour, and they're here, and through your investigation you find out they may be here illegally. Without this signed, what is the big difference? There's really not much of a difference, and I know we talked on the phone for quite a while. The reason I asked this is with the paper here, and because that was my biggest deal, is trying to understand that this really isn't what we're doing isn't going to be a whole lot different. It just allows us to be eligible for some grant funding and some reimbursement.
Correct. So in the situation of the speeding violation, obviously outside of other violations actively going on in driver's license status and otherwise, we're going to write a citation and send you on down the road. I mean, without the basic. This authorizes us to do our own interrogation interviews right then and there, but as past that, our guys now, I mean, we're not going to you run through NCIC, you're not gonna, unless ICE has something on someone, and, we're not going to, we'll end up sending them on down the road. And if it's likely that they might be, there's been times we have encountered, where middle of nowhere side of the road and, something's just not right with it. We've tried to contact them in the middle of the night before. We've had success with it, with them responding, whether it's answered or not. Now, that's outside of this. That's without one of these MOAs. But sometimes they'll pick up, sometimes they don't. And
But you're already contacting them.
we
It's
will.
not like,
If something's not, in our line, if something's not right, you can usually, and that's what you're trying to look for. It just kind of speaks to you. So, with that, yes, we can take that extra step. But as far as any further action past that, it doesn't, they say no, we don't push that, so.
Without a crime or a violation, say you just hear Joe Blow's dad came into town for a visit, and it's well known that he's illegal, are you gonna do something about that, or
No.
do you have to be?
They have to commit a crime.
The idea
Or a
is
pretty much.
we responded to a crime. We're not treating that being the reason why we're making contact, and that's something that's the policy that our department's going to have in place with our people, is that that's not the basis of it. Yes, federally a crime, but we're there interested in, are you committing crimes while you're in our jurisdiction? And if that same subject is, assaulting someone, well, that's a different story. Obviously, we're going to come into contact with that and follow up from there. But outside of just hearing that, no, we're not. We're not.
My understanding is that there's only going to be a handful of officers that have the amount of time in that are going to be qualified to be a part of this. But if our newer officers end up in a situation on the side of the road, how will they respond to that? Do they just go on like it doesn't happen, or do they call one of you that are qualified?
That's like I said. Obviously, those guys without their training, in what we do, you can pick up on things, just little things while you're interacting with someone on that. Now, yes, they can call one of us that's considered a task force agent at that point. We would come over and essentially we would start our thing with what they're authorizing us to do. And that other officer would be free to go. They can't be involved in it as far as transport or anything else. We're the ones, that trained task force officer is the one that will essentially
They have to
take
hand
over.
the baton off to you.
They will, yes, correct.
All the training will be paid for.
It's, a lot of it, from what I understand, I think they have two forms, online or in person if need be.
So
But
the city won't be paying for any of the training? How long is an officer going to be away for the training?
they give you 8 weeks to complete 40 hours of online training. On top of that, they give us 14 hours of CLE credit, which is, we have to have 25 each officer. City of Oklahoma has to have 25 a year in regular classes to keep our certification. So we're already going to be gaining 14 hours just for that. Now, I know it's 40 to 14, but it's, it's not taking us out of our city. It's not interrupting our services that we already provide. And that's,
How does the OHP and Sheriff's Department, are they part of this already?
I don't believe the Woods County Sheriff's Office is, but they may, I don't know, I don't have any clue on that, but I do know the Oklahoma Highway Patrol is a part of this. There's them, OSBI, and OBN are three of the state agencies that are currently on this program.
I tried to talk to the Major County Sheriff today, because they're on there. He didn't answer me.
I think he's at a conference, sheriff's.
Pulled you over.
Yeah. Did you?
Well, you got me here.
Like on this funding, like it says here, $7,500 stipend for each officer who has completed the required training. When you've talked to Weatherford, did they have any trouble getting that money?
According
What
to
about
them,
the initial, the one-time stipend on like the first?
From what-
Mayor
from what-
indicated to me that it came through.
Yeah, rapidly. And according to the individual who provided me additional information through DHS, she said since our new Mark Wade Mullen, since he became the secretary of, he has, I mean, the process is just expedited.
I know how some of those things can.
Yeah,
'Cause I
right.
don't
And it's
feel
gonna
good
check,
For paying our guys for 40 hours to go to this training and then not get paid
right.
back from.
Right,
It's not
no,
like they're
it's
paying-
my understanding that that's not, I mean, they're paying pretty quick.
So this is a new certification they have, right?
Correct, we would be cross-commissioned as task force agents with immigration.
Is that also a bump in pay for an officer from the city?
And we would.
Would this training go with that officer if they went to another department?
It could, I mean, they could, if another agency was on this program, absolutely, they could continue it where they're at. Just like we could continue to add,
Yeah.
you know.
You have a question, Roy?
Yeah, in your professional opinion, do you consider this a good thing for the department, for the community?
I think it is. It's one that, it's no secret, said this a lot, funding is tight. I mean, things are expensive, and it costs a lot to have a department that our job isn't generating revenue. It's just the bottom line. We have a special mission that we take seriously, and in my experience, I know I've encountered subjects that are coming here committing crimes that deserve to be deported. It's the bottom line. We're the ones that pay for it here. And so in the long run, yes, I absolutely do believe. I think it will be not only monetarily great for our department, and it's a lot that we don't have to ask for, you know. But what's more than that is it gets those people immediately out of our community, because we've had a lot of things going on. I know I sided with a couple of you. Most recently, two subjects were arrested by the sheriff's office in Winoka for breaking into an ATM. That these were two Venezuelan subjects. That's what they were doing nationwide. So it wasn't just to our area. It was just, this is here. I mean, this is the bottom line. So if we can prevent any further damages, then we should take that step. And not only that, receive potentially some funding for doing so, which is not dedicated solely to immigration enforcement. We're free to use that for the citizens of Alva, you know, for our department operation. So I think it could be. I don't have a lot of experience. This is the first time I've encountered anything like this. So I'm trying to learn. So
the reimbursement is just a check with nothing written in the middle of it. You get to use it.
So there is a breakdown on some of it, like for instance the $100,000 stipend. That is, from what I understood, could be used for vehicles, could be used for IT type purchases. So there is some limitation, but it's not devoted to their agency or their use. It's devoted for us.
So there's no
And
reason,
sorry.
there's no reason why we couldn't, I mean, get that, take that and apply it towards enterprise. I mean, it doesn't have to be additional.
Correct.
Okay,
That's what I mean.
If we talked about finance committee, we're already paying for police cars, we can take
Right.
that money to apply towards those payments and then take the money we were gonna pay and use it elsewhere within the city's budget to buy
Okay,
other
that's-
things, so.
Well, and there's even, whether it's other departments or, you know, honestly, there's needs in, I mean, you guys need a roof like nobody's business, and we can save, you know, the money on the vehicles for law enforcement. We can probably come up with the money for the roof then at that point.
Yeah.
You know, things like that.
I'm not going to speak because I don't know. There could be stuff on the minimum line. Like I said, that one-time $100,000 payment, I mean, they said specifically 2 vehicles or IT type equipment. So.
But that could be, you know, dash
Oh,
cameras.
no doubt. That's exactly what we would look to do. That's pricey. So.
What type of qualifications do officers have to have or need to have to be able to do this?
So you have to have at least 2 years of law enforcement enforcement experience, and that is as a police officer. It's not jail time, that's not anything else. You must be able to pass their background, obviously be a U.S. citizen, and obviously be in good standing with our department. So those are the basic qualifications.
How many officers would that be in our department that have the 2 years?
I think I figured counting me, I don't know if I included Chief Orcutt or not, but 5 is what I anticipated that would be actively involved in this, is what we're looking to do.
And what's our total staff?
Our total staff is 13, I think? But that counts
Between the
animal
full-time
control.
and part-time, I
Right.
think.
Yeah, I think that's include. We have 3 reserves and then the rest full-time staff. So
Are the reserves-
I think it is 13 or 14.
Are the reserves eligible for this?
That hasn't come up at all. I don't think that those guys work 1 day a week. I don't think that that's something that we would do with the reserves. They
So
could just
if an op-
notify the task force officer that we have, so.
If an officer wants to do this, they have all the qualifications, but you, as assistant, has reservations of that person doing it, can you deny that person?
Correct, yes. Yes. The chief or I could, if he supports that, then yes. And I'll just add one final thing. This isn't a quota system. This isn't something that, in order to continue to be a part of this, we have to have a certain number that we turn in every quarter. It's not like that. Obviously, I don't anticipate us experiencing anything more than 3 or 4 times a year. So as far as that, we'll still be in good standing with that MOA.
This isn't something we have to decide now, that we could do this in a month or 2 months.
That's completely up to you guys.
You did say something about the policies that you will have to, do you have those policies started or?
We already have an immigration policy, which, it stipulates, once we go to jail with the subject, that it eliminates our involvement and allows the jails to take over that notification of ICE. But it's not uncommon for all of us to, that's what we do, we investigate things, so. But yes, we already have an immigration policy, which 287G is not in that, which is something I've been working on implementing on what our expectations are, so.
And Dave, this is something you came up with about?
So, I talked to a lot of other people that work for other places, and that is something the Highway Patrol want to contact the Highway Patrol, so that's what they've gotten onto. It's been great for their agency, and of course Weatherford today. I'm trying to think, there was one other that I spoke with, but anyway, yes, it is. It has come recommended.
So I guess my question is, do we wish to table this for further discussion down the road and findings, or do we wish to make a motion and second and vote on it?
I got a statement. It just seems to me not so much about the reimbursement, though it'd be nice. I think this would give those guys another tool to protect our citizens here. To me, it just seems like a no-brainer.
I'm okay with going forward with the motion.
After hearing Cummings on it. Yeah, he's done an excellent job explaining a lot of my questions. Talked to me quite a bit yesterday.
Any further discussion, any other questions for Dave? All right, thank you for your time,
Thank you
Dave.
guys very much for.
All right, I'd entertain a motion at this point.
I'll motion to approve item 13 as stated in the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Lahr and a second by Mr. Hoffman. Would you please call the vote?
Lahr,
Yes.
Hoffman.
Yes.
Parsons,
Yes.
Ayers,
Yes.
Rutenberg,
Yes.
Swallow,
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you guys very much.
I appreciate all your work on this.
Thank you.
All right. So now we're back up. Number 7, do we have any remarks or inquiries by citizens? Since we have one, Mr. Haynes, do you have any remarks or inquiries?
No, I think it's great.
Make
All
sure you
right.
include another paper bag.
We have Pastor Haynes' blessings. All right, number 8, discussion and action to approve ordinance 8A through 8C pertaining to the City of Alva retirement funds with the Oklahoma Municipal Retirement Fund,
So,
Part
oh, go ahead.
A. Okay, I'll read A, B, C, and then if you got something to say.
Well,
Right.
I was gonna say, read this part.
Okay. Items 8A through 8C pertaining to the City of Alva Retirement Fund ordinances will be approved by one vote of the council. Any member of the council desiring to discuss an item pertaining to these retirement fund ordinances may request that it be removed from consideration and placed for discussion as the next item on the regular agenda. It will then be considered separately. And we will do items A, approval of ordinance 2026-003. You want me to read that through or just list the ordinance? Read the whole thing. An ordinance amending the employee retirement system, defined contribution plan for the City of Alva, Oklahoma, and declaring an emergency. B, approval of ordinance 2026-004, an ordinance amending the employee retirement system, defined benefit plan for the City of Alva, Oklahoma, and declaring an emergency. C, approval of ordinance 2026-005, an ordinance adopting an employee retirement system, defined contribution plan for city manager for the City of Alva, Oklahoma.
If I may.
You may.
So, these are all with regard to the employment agreement for me. If you have questions regarding the retirement plans themselves and the resolutions or the ordinances, I can get Chris Watley with OMRF on the phone. He's waiting for the phone call if we have any questions. Because I'm not knowledgeable enough in retirement systems to be able to answer any of those questions. I do believe, and Drew, correct me if I'm wrong, but we'll have to have separate motions to declare the emergencies. And so those would come in on item D there. So declaring the emergency would need to be pulled out and declared separately. The emergency clause is in there because these should have been done back in March, and so we're a few months later that these have gotten on the agenda, and so by declaring the emergencies, they go into effect for June 1st. The item C with the defined contribution plan for the city manager, that will take, there's no emergency clause on that because it's going to take them 90 days to set that up.
So, I guess there's a lot of information here, just kind of the quick rundown on it. Why do we need to do this when it's not something we've done in the past?
We've had to do it for every city manager.
Oh, okay, so it's a normal thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a,
Any further discussion, questions?
And if you'll recall, Joe, we didn't do the last managers until after his service was complete.
oh, okay. That makes sense.
All right, so then I go for a motion and a second on ABC, correct? All right, do we have a motion for number 8, parts A, B, and C?
Okay, so does it need to be, it's one motion to approve everything and then one motion to make it an emergency, is that correct?
D will be the emergency motion.
does it need to be like a different one for A, B, and C?
No, one motion for A, B, and C,
Okay.
and then the emergency clauses, I don't know if they need to be approved, 2 emergencies or,
I think the way it's written, you could probably do, you know, a motion to declare emergency on items 8A and B. That's one motion.
I would motion to approve items A, B, and C in agenda item 8.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Parsons and a second by Mr. Bowman. Would you please call the vote?
Parsons,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Rickenberg,
Yes.
Swallow,
Yes.
Fairs.
Yes.
Okay, then we move to 8D, which would be consideration and action regarding City of Alva retirement ordinances removed from consideration, which I guess would be the emergency clause. So this will be the motion and second on the emergency part. Do I have any discussion on that? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
and you just say, I'd move to declare an emergency for item 8A and item 8B.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to declare emergency in item 8 on the agenda, item A and B, an emergency.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Bowman and a second by Mr. Hoffman. Would you please call the vote?
Bowman,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Ferris,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Rickenberg,
Yes.
Swallow,
Yes.
Parsons.
Yes.
All right.
Thanks.
Very confusing.
All right, moving on to number 9. Discussion and action to approve resolution number 2026-004, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Alva, Oklahoma, authorizing the expenditure of stabilization reserve fund balances during fiscal year 2026 due to accounting and budgeting errors and declaring a temporary moratorium on contributions to the stabilization reserve fund for fiscal year 2027, providing for severability and effective date. Do you wish me to read more?
You want me to take it?
You can.
So, the rainy day fund, you know, we set up and we have an ordinance that states that we are to contribute so much percentage of our non-capital operating expenses a year into the rainy day fund. The purposes of that fund, among others, you know, is that if there are significant errors and omissions in our accounting and budgeting, then those stabilization reserve funds can be used in that instance. We do have a situation where there was about $1.3 million worth of errors and omissions in the current year budget. We're not in that bad a shape, but the errors were that big. Approximately, I think I wrote in here, there was about 340,000. I think the number's closer to 330, between 330 and 340. It's in that stabilization reserve fund. And by approving the resolution, you're taking action to use the balance of those funds to offset the cash deficit that we've experienced due to those errors and omissions. The cash deficit is in excess of that $330,000, but this would help to get us closer in line with where we need to be by the end of the fiscal year. The other part of this resolution is that it puts a temporary moratorium on our contributions into the stabilization reserve fund, which by doing so, that allows us to get back to even ground more quickly. fiscal year. It is only, the temporary moratorium is only for the next fiscal year unless you guys were to extend that moratorium by official action next year. This does require 7-member approval. It has to be greater than 75% approval to use the stabilization reserve funds, and so 6 is only 75, 7 is more than 75. Well, and in our case, we only have 7. So, but it's out of the total members of our council, vacant or full. So, our recommendation, and we've talked about this in Finance Committee as well, but the recommendation is that we go ahead and use those funds for this purpose and start to get ourselves a little bit further out of the hole.
Any discussion? I will entertain a motion.
I'd motion to approve item 9 as stated in the agenda.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Did you say that, Bowman?
Yeah.
All right, motion by Mr. Parsons, second by Mr. Bowman. Please call the vote.
Parsons,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Barris,
Yes.
Swallow,
Yes.
Rudenberg,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Hoffman.
Yes.
All right. On to number 10, fiscal year 2027 budget presentation and public hearing with attachments, budget message FY 26-27 and budget presentation FY 27 by Ms. Sadie Beer.
Okay, so as we've said, due to errors and omissions from the prior year's budget, we did not follow the fiscal year 26 budget template. Kelly and I started from scratch, and what we presented on here is what we were able to come up with for this year. Revenues, excluding utilities, collections, and certain grants were projected flat this year based on our average monthly receipts from July to May of 2026. Utility revenues were adjusted to reflect the 3.8% CPI increase reported in May of 2026, which was voted on last month. We also thought health insurance for the city was going to increase 15%, but the actual quotes were actually 5%, so that was great. That saved us quite a bit of money. And due to the fiscal constraints coming into 27, we were not able to budget a wage increase this year. I'm hopeful we can get into a better spot for next year. We have let everybody know that, everyone is aware, and that it's not going to be able to happen in 27. And capital activities will be extremely limited besides anything that has existing debt and our lease purchase obligations. We did do an 8% across the board in the general fund and the utility authority, except for the lease obligations, and that resulted in us saving about $788,000. So we will be tightening our belts this year to get us back to a better place where we should have been the last couple of years. So I will be monitoring revenues monthly, and if we see a significant increase or a decrease, we're going to try to isolate those, especially if it's a decrease. What's going on? Do we need to adjust our expenses? When necessary, I'll bring budget amendments to you guys, and we'll follow our local ordinances and state laws. Our expenditures for FY27 were developed with the focus of financial responsibility and operational continuity, and all our departments have reviewed their needs and adjusted their spending plans to reflect what we can currently do for the next fiscal year based on revenues. Revenues, sales tax has been up, but costs have gone up even greater. So pipe is expensive. Everything has just gone up. So we're hopeful that hopefully revenues will keep coming up. Maybe we can, get some better deals on expenses, but that's kind of where we're at for right now. So we are budgeting the general fund revenue at roughly $6.9 million with expenditures at $6.9 million. That is a zero balance budget. Our AUA fund is budgeted at 4.6 million, with expenses at 4.6 million again, balanced budget. And our Alva Economic Development Authority with 1.2 million revenues and expenses of 1.2. It's not quite balanced. They'll have a little bit extra. They don't have to be at zero. So, but they'll be in the positive. So, any questions?
We did, we are in compliance with all the state statutes for timeliness of reporting and public hearing and all of that. Finance Committee met on May 26th, discussed this at great length. What were we there, a couple hours, 2.5 hours?
Yeah.
And went through a lot of the details of it. The committee, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you were in favor of moving this forward to council and for approval. So that's where we're at today. We won't vote on anything on this item, but the next item and then is the resolution for the budget approval. And then there's also one in the ADA meeting and the AUA meeting as well. The next item on the agenda for the city council is going to include the general fund plus all other funds that are not the utility authority fund and not the economic development authority funds.
It'll include airport, cemetery, street and alley, and tourism and hope, and the donations fund is all up in city council. So this is the presentation. I can answer any questions, concerns.
None?
Okay.
Thank you.
And so this will also be if the public would like to have any questions or.
That's you, Roy.
Our soul.
No questions.
Okay.
All right, moving on to number 11. Discussion and action to approve resolution number 2026-005, a resolution of the City of Alva, Oklahoma, adopting the FY 2026-2027 annual budget. Is there any discussion on that?
One thing I will point out, Mr. Mayor, in all the years that I've been manager, we basically use the same resolution format.
It's this year, right?
Huh?
All the years that you've been manager?
All the years that I was mayor, and so, good catch.
Many months.
There had been, what was that? A section 5 on the resolution that had said we would continue all previously approved agreements and subscriptions, basically is what it said. We have omitted that from this year's resolution because it is not our intent to continue all previously committed to obligations. We will be getting rid of some subscriptions that are multi-year. We will be getting rid of some agreements that are multi-year in the best interest of the finances and some of it's what we would consider unnecessary. It's all considered unnecessary. If it's anything that was considered necessary, those are in the budget, and the ones that aren't necessary, those are not.
But, I mean, under state law, they can't obligate us to something more than a year, correct?
Correct.
So we're not
That's
doing
why-
anything wrong.
So previously, we hadn't had an opinion to remove things that we had done.
Okay.
And this year is the year where we're clearly stating that the budget won't afford all of those things. And so we're not going to put a section in our resolutions that says we're going to move forward with all those things. And I've been, between Sadie and I, we've been in contact with some. I think we'll find more, but we've been in contact with the ones we're aware of.
We keep finding more every day.
When you say like, what, can you give
Just-
examples?
So SmartGov is a tool that cities use for planning and development and whatnot, and it's probably a good tool. We have not implemented it. We paid for it last year. And so we're not using it. We're not going to miss it. We're going to save the money. But something like Text My Gov, which is the citizen engagement portion that's on our app where they can report potholes and tall weeds and grasses, we're going to maintain that one.
is there anything out there that maybe we're cutting that's gonna be, that was kind of a hard choice to make to cut, that you guys off the top of your head, or is it all just stuff that's just kind of got overlooked?
Right now, we're going at the low-hanging fruit.
Okay.
In order to get that 8% reduction, I think we're gonna need more than that. So those decisions are coming.
We get rid of the sequin fix thing.
We haven't paid for that in a while.
Yeah, that was.
Keep emailing me about it like 3 years ago.
Oh. Well, it's not from us, and we're not paying for it, so.
Like your issues don't resolve.
Any other discussion? I would entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve item 11 as stated in the agenda.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Lahr and a second by Mr. Hoffman. Would you please call the vote?
Lahr.
Yes.
Hoffman.
Yes.
Rudenberg.
Yes.
Swallow.
Yes.
Ferris.
Yes.
Parsons.
Yes.
Bowman.
Yes.
All right, moving on to number 12. Discussion and action to approve Resolution 2026-008, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Alva, Oklahoma, approving an agreement with the Woods County Board of County Commissioners for E911 dispatch services and providing for payment and terms, which I believe our city business manager, Mr. Parker, would have something to say about.
So this is, gosh, it's probably been over 10 years ago. We went into an agreement with Woods County for E911 and dispatch services. Since that time, we've really gotten a favorable rate on that. And the county commissioners reached out to us last year, and it was an untimely request to amend the agreement with a commitment from us that we would work with them in good faith and negotiate a different rate for this year. The rate that we're going from $36,000 to $80,000 a year. To put things in perspective, if we were to operate our own E911 and dispatch services just for the city, we're going to spend probably $250,000 just on staffing, just to have 24/7, probably 2 people on at a time, to be able to just staff the department. And that's not taking into consideration the expense of the equipment, the expense of the subscriptions that we would have to operate the system, and things like that. So the Commissioner Starks and I kind of looked at a long-range plan to get us to even at the end of we've stretched it out over 7 years, kind of as an on-ramp to get us up to a level that's fair to the county and fair to the city. We're still getting a better bargain than what we would if we were to pay for ourselves. But this $80,000 would be an amount that escalates by not more than 20% a year for the next few years. However, we're only agreeing to it 1 year at a time. So if something happens, if they don't have an increase in expenses, or they somehow get a decrease in expenses, we're not guaranteed to have a 20% increase or anything like that. It's all going to be based on actual numbers that are, being experienced. If they add any additional customers to, and I say customers, we would be basically considered like a customer. We're a service recipient of their dispatch and the 911 services. If they were to add another community or another county to their service, then the agreement has a spot in there where we immediately renegotiate the rates at that time to be reflective of us having a lower proportionate part of the cost.
Do you feel this is an equitable rate considering all the people they serve and what the other people are paying them?
Does Winoka pay
Yes.
them?
Yes.
Who all is it?
They've got for dispatch only, and this is for dispatch. This isn't for. It's an E911, but their dispatch services are, it's pretty well 50-50, what they spend on dispatch versus what they spend on E911. So they've got more E911 customers than they have dispatch customers, but we're looking at about half of that total department's budget on the county side, which is about $500,000. $80,000 is not equitable. We're still getting a great deal at $80,000, but with our budget limitations, we need to be probably closer to $200,000 to be equitable at this time. And so they're still giving us, a decent enough bargain. I think some things we need to look at in the future, depending on how negotiations go. But we have some things that we do to serve the entire county as well that probably aren't equitable in funding either, and so we probably need to take a look at those separate of this agreement. But this agreement and the conversations that I've had with Commissioner Starks are putting us on a path to an equitable portion of those dispatch services.
Any further discussion? Any questions? I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2026-008, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Alva, Oklahoma, approving an agreement with the Woods County Board of County Commissioners for E911 dispatch services and providing for payment in terms.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Bowman, second by Mr. Parsons. Please call the vote.
Bowman,
Yes.
Parsons,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Rukenberg,
Yes.
Swallow,
Yes.
Ferris,
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
So our next item is the executive session on the firefighter negotiations. And it has been recommended to me that we call a recess, postpone that to the absolute end of this council meeting, and jump right into the authority meeting and the AEDA meeting, and then we can come back and finish up the regular council meeting. Do I have approval on that?
No, that's your plan.
All right, so that's just the way it is.
I am the law.
So you just call the next meeting to order.
All right, I will call the regular Alva Utility Authority meeting. Thank you, Roy, for coming.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Regular Alva Utility Authority meeting to order. Would you please do the roll call?
Hoffman.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
Rukenberg. Swallow.
Yes.
Bowman.
Here.
Parsons.
Here.
Ferris.
Here. All right, we have a quorum. Number 3, discussion and action on the consent agenda. We have A, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of May 18th, 2026. Oh, do I have to read that? Okay, thank you. I'll back up. All of the following items which concern reports and items of a routine nature normally approved at AUA meetings will be approved by one vote of the authority. Any trustee desiring to discuss an item on the consent agenda may request that it be removed from the consent agenda and placed for discussion as the next item on the regular agenda. It will then be considered separately. The consent agenda consists of the consideration and action on the following items. A, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of May 18th, 2026. B, approval of claims in the amount of $241,278.89 and payroll expenses of $30,818.05. And C, approval of Worth Hyrochem quote in the amount of $33,089.19. And I believe that's it. Yes.
I will point out, there's a typo. It's Worth Hydrochem.
Oh.
And I'll just add that is an insurance claim. We had lightning strike out at the chlorination station. The amount of repairs is $33,000, but we will only pay our $2,500 deductible.
So we got it through.
Yeah.
We got it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there any discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor Melton, I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
And do I have a second? All right, we have a motion by Mr. Hoffman And a second by Mr. Lahr. Would you please call the vote?
Hoffman,
Yes.
Lahr,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Parsons,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Swallow,
Yes.
Rudenberg.
Yes.
All right. So number 5, discussion and action to approve resolution 2026-007, a resolution of the Alva Utility Authority of the City of Alva, Oklahoma, adopting the 2026-2027 annual budget with attachments, budget message FY 26-27, and the 2026-007-AUA FY 26-27 proposed budget. Is there any discussion? All right, I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2026-007, a resolution of the Alva Utility Authority of the City of Alva, Oklahoma, adopting the 2026-2027 annual budget.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, a motion by Mr. Bowman, a second by Mr. Lahr. Would you please call the vote?
Bowman,
Yes.
Lahr,
Yes.
Parsons,
Yes.
Rudenberg,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Swallow,
Yes.
Hoffman.
Yes.
All right, on to number 6, discussion and action to approve resolution 2026-010, a resolution authorizing and approving a memorandum of agreement between the Alva Utility Authority and the Alva Arena Authority doing business as the Salt Fork Event Center, acknowledging the City of Alva as a beneficiary of the Alva Arena Authority, providing for utility services, solid waste services, and the transfer of certain equipment, establishing an initial term through June 30th, 2027, with automatic renewals thereafter, and providing for an effective date. Do I need to read after that? No? Okay. Is there any discussion?
So, we had the meeting back in April where we discussed kind of some of the incentives or discounts that we would be able to consider for the Arena Authority. Just as kind of a reminder, we are a 50-50 beneficiary with Woods County of the Arena Authority. And so there is, if the Arena Authority would fail, then we would, be in cahoots with Woods County to do something with that property and that building and those facilities. So the idea is that we have some incentive in them for the help them get off to a good start. The MOA does have in there free water, free sewer, a year at a time, and it also has a 110% of cost with our dumpster service, and then it has the transferring of some poly carts and the trash truck. It has in there rates for dumping the trash truck that they would pay, which is essentially to cover our costs to take the trash from the trash truck to the landfill. It has provisions in there that they cannot sell the trash truck without our authorization. And it does, while it does renew automatically, there are provisions in there that if we choose to end the agreement early, we can. So it doesn't, it's not an in perpetuity thing, unless future councils decide that that's what they want it to be. So right now, I think I hit the highlights. And it has provision in there that the city would be able to have free use of the facility 4 times a year, as able to be fit in their scheduling and whatnot. That's just use of the facility. That's not, if we want to have a meal or something like that, we're on our own. But we would get consideration for meetings and Christmas parties and stuff like that.
poly carts, those are ones we already have, right?
Correct.
They're taking care of the truck.
They're responsible for the insurance, the maintenance, the upkeep, everything.
But we still retain
And no, they're gonna retain, we're transferring ownership. We will also get to use the truck the 2 or 3 times a year that we need it to go dump some dumpsters.
I think it was also in there that they couldn't sell it without talking to the city first.
So how would that work if, like, we don't retain ownership? If they decide a year down the road to sell it, they want to sell it, how would that?
They would
They-
have violated the agreement if they did it without.
So the truck would revert back to us in that situation, or?
Well, we would have the opportunity to buy it back from them if we wanted, or take it back, or whatever, but we're giving them the truck, but they can't sell it without our authorization.
What, do we have an established value on that truck?
About $90,000.
Does that leave us with any trash trucks?
We have one, but I think we declared it surplus. Didn't we? We're going to use that. It's in the agreement that we can use that trash truck.
Whenever we want.
Yeah. We don't need it.
We haven't used it in a long time.
When do we typically use it, like during the car shows, stuff like that?
I don't even
The
know.
last time it was used, I think it was when we had a lot of rain and one of the Waste Connection trucks was having a hard time getting down a road. We took it back there and dumped. But it's been a minute.
Any further discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve item number 6 as stated in the agenda.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bowman, second by Mr. Hoffman. Please call the vote.
Bowman,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Rukenberg,
Yes.
Swallow,
Yes.
Ferris,
Yes.
Parsons,
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
All right, any new business? Nothing there, so we will adjourn the utility authority meeting. And we will call to order the regular Alva Economic Development Authority meeting. Would you please do roll call?
Hoffman,
Here.
Moore,
Here.
Rukenberg,
Here.
Swallow,
Yes.
Ferris,
Here.
Parsons,
Here.
Bowman.
Here.
All right, we have a quorum. Item 3, discussion and action on the consent agenda. All of the following items which concern reports and items of routine nature normally approved at AEDA meetings will be approved by one vote of the authority. Any trustee desiring to discuss an item on the consent agenda may request that it be removed from the consent agenda and placed for discussion as the next item on the regular agenda. It will then be considered separately. The consent agenda consists of the consideration and action on the following items. A, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of May 18th, 2026. And B, approval of claims in the amount of $66,661.18 and payroll expenses of $25,603.21. Is there any discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, motion by Mr. Bowman, second by Mr. Lahr. Please call the vote.
Bowman,
Yes.
Lahr,
Yes.
Swallow,
Yes.
Ferris,
Yes.
Rukenberg,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Parsons.
Yes.
All right, on to number 5, discussion and action to approve resolution 2026-006, a resolution of the Alva Economic Development Authority of the City of Alva, Oklahoma, adopting the 2026-2027 annual budget with attachments of the budget message FY 26-27 and the 2026-06 AEDA FY 26-27 proposed budget. Is there any discussion?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Parsons, second by Mr. Hoffman. Would you please call the vote?
Parsons.
Yes.
Hoffman.
Yes.
Rubenberg.
Yes.
Swallow. Yes. Lar.
Yes.
Spelman.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
All right, any new business? None, so we will adjourn that, and here in a minute, we will end our recess, correct, from the regular council meeting? And make a motion to go into executive session, correct?
Yep.